There's gold in this black sand. The hard part is getting the gold out. And I've never seen anybody try using the Batea pan to extract it. So we're gonna test that today. Welcome back to the Glacial Gold Hunter. It's the butt crack of dawn, the sun is rising. We're here at the shores of Lake Superior again, one of my favorite spots, and there's good gold to be found. Now this is the same spot I was the last time I was here, and some of the black sand has gold, some of it doesn't. But one thing you can do is you can take your shovel and just kind of draw a line in the sand, and you can follow the seam of black sand, and usually somewhere along there is a string where gold is dropping out. You can see it's kind of got this tiger striping, just beautiful stratigraphy. And I'm gonna test along here, different levels, different layers, and see which one contains the best gold. I'm gonna use what I'm used to for now until we find the gold, and then I'll switch to the Batea pan. Not one speck in that pinch. Not all black sand has gold. We'll keep looking. Now I can't find a string of gold quite as good as the last time I was here. The waves, they take it away and they put it back, and you never know what the lake's gonna do. It's different every time. But I did find a string of gold right there, and here's what it looks like. And there's a few small specks. That's what we're looking for. Little tiny specks of gold mixed with the black sand. Now it's not much, but I think it's enough to test the Batea pan. Now the Batea pan is big. It holds a lot of material, but I'm only so strong. I think that's enough for me. Now unlike a flat bottom pan where the gold gets trapped in the riffles, the Batea pan works with centrifugal force. You swirl it around, and since gold is the heaviest, it should stay at the lowest point of the pan. All the lighter material should head on out, keeping that heavy gold on the bottom. I can see every time I kind of stratify it like so, this gets covered with blonde sand. It all comes to the top, and then I swirl that out. See, and blonde sand comes back to the top. You can see it even turns red from all the garnet sand. The garnets are going to be a little bit lighter than the magnetite. So now instead of turning blonde, it's turning red. Then I swish that out. It seems like it's working. These pans are tricky though. Now there's absolutely zero blonde sand, just a little bit of garnet sand coming up, so it definitely is keeping the heaviest material in the pan. I'm gonna pan it out a bit and just keep a close eye to see if I'm washing any gold specks out. I don't see any, but those gold specks can ride on top of that black sand pretty easily. I don't see any gold. I better put it in a flat bottom pan to really check. Well, I see 2 specks in there.
That can't be it. Where's the rest of it?
That's no more than I had on my test pan. And there was a lot less material in my test pan. So the only thing I can think to do is to test it with a method that I know works. And that's the Banjo pan. So I'm gonna take some scoops from the same exact spot, run it through the Banjo pan, and then see if there's more in my little capture sluice here than was left in the Batea pan. You guys have seen this one used on the beach before. It works pretty well, but we're always trying to find the best method possible. And since they don't let you use a sluice anymore, you gotta be creative. So that's pretty quick and easy. Everything should be in the mat. Let's check. We gotta beat 2 specks. And we have 3 specks. Honestly, I think I need a better spot, so I'm gonna keep looking. I know why it didn't work. All the professionals you see, they gotta go like this. Wow. 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 Whoa. But around this stump, I did take a test pan, and it seems like there's more specks. So let's fill a Batea pan again and give it another try. So as soon as I started trying to pan it like that, I saw a speck of gold go right down almost out the edge. So I'm not gonna do that. So let me put it in my riffle pan and we'll get the cleanup. If this works, this is good enough for a concentrate. If I can concentrate something down that fast, that's cool. I'll do the final cleanup at home when I have better tools and more time. But out here in the field, you just gotta run through as much material as you can. That's the only way you're gonna get a little pile of gold. It's still way too much to really clean up, but yeah, I can see gold in the black sand, and it's just not enough of a density differential to make this easy to show. But I can say that I did catch gold. So we'll just get a quick peek at what's at the easy to see specks. So that Batea pan held on to all that gold in that black sand. That's just the top edge. I'm sure there's more specks down below in here, but it's really hard to separate. But that's a good sign. So clearly that did work to reduce it down to the heaviest material. I think next, let's compare it to what we know. We'll try the Banjo pan and see which has more. Now, I can't fit nearly as much material in the Banjo pan. That's a packed Banjo pan, but let's give it a try. So in addition to how well these pans capture, I'm gonna try to factor in ease of use. And to tell you one thing, I can use this in a tub on the shore, so if the waves are big, this would definitely be an ease of use winner. But when the lake is pretty calm like it is, then the Batea pan becomes maybe more of an option. So the Banjo pan has quite a few specks left in there, and that wasn't nearly as much material. And I feel like that's a pretty good rate of capture too. So clearly both pans do work. I'll keep testing to see which one I prefer, but I think the next question is, do these weird designs really do any better than a flat bottom riffle pan? Let's try that now. I'll just fill the pan from the exact same spot and pan it down normal. I know I'm gonna be dumping some material out because it's just kind of the nature of this, but I'm hoping I'm keeping most of the gold. And that captures gold just like you'd expect it would. And there's the standard riffle pan. It caught all kinds of specks. Really good job. So upon initial inspection, I don't see a clear winner. They all work, they're all very different, and they're all very different price ranges. I got all this stuff from High Plains Prospecting, and their prices beat Amazon sometimes. But still, this was like 60 bucks. I think this was like 30 something, and this was just over 10, I believe. But any pan you use, they're all using the same methodology of gravity separation, and I think the best pan is the one you enjoy using the most. So I'm just gonna keep experimenting and collecting some gold. What was that? I feel something.
I sense something, a presence I've not felt since...
I feel a presence approaching. For now, I'm just gonna keep excavating around this log and classifying material down to concentrates. No more peaks, let's get to work. I think I'll go ahead and set up a station right here. So one advantage right off the bat, I can't use this in a tub. It's way too big. But I can take a seat and use either one of these in my tub. And I can just scoop right here. Sweet. And then when that pan's reduced, I just dunk it, wash it off, and go again. I feel it getting closer. I knew I could sense something. It's Rigby, and that must mean the Flower Gold Wizard is here. This is the second Flower Gold Wizard Patreon outing that I'm attending, and there's a whole bunch of people here to learn from and to network with, and it's gonna be a good day. And I think right now I could use some lessons in the Banjo Pan, because I just checked my tailings here and I'm losing gold, and I know I'm not gonna catch it all. You're not about to catch it all. If you try, you're just gonna take too much time trying to catch every piece. But I would like to catch more than I am catching, because I just checked it and here's what I dumped out. And that's what I recovered from my tailings. I don't like seeing pieces that big that I'm going through. I know I'm not gonna catch it all, but I'm hoping I can do a little bit better job.
That certainly isn't how you do it.
You're doing it wrong.
So I got a quick lesson on the Banjo Pan, and hopefully that'll help me increase my recovery.
Did you record it?
I'm so sorry. I failed you.
And that's kind of the point of coming to an event like this. There's a lot of people to learn from, and I make the most of that. So I just found this crazy little rock that looks so cool. It's fractured and it's infilled with these tiny little veins. Almost looks like jasper, but to be honest, I don't really know what it is. I just know it looks really cool. I'm not afraid to admit I don't know something. But even this little rock tells a story. Speaking of stories, let's make the most of this crystal clear water and see if we can find any rocks that have a story to tell.
See what you got there? That's a metamorphosized silicate right there.
Actually, I think it's a breccia. But it's a good rock with a story to tell. You can see it's got a lot of fracturing and a lot of infilling. So that fracturing, that would be from tectonic stresses, and it just broke right there. Doesn't look like there was a lot of movement or a lot of displacement, but that's the same color infilling as that other rock I showed. A little bit of quartz veining too. Here's another cool one. You can see if you look at it this way, these elongated patterns here, they call that fabric in the rock. But if you turn it this way, it looks just like a granite. So that's showing that the stresses, everything was being pulled and sheared in this direction during the metamorphic process. So a lot of tectonic stresses, preferentially aligning the crystal grains. Even this rock tells a story. Now, I'm sure most of you guys have already seen Jason's new prototype here, but I'm gonna give it a go. This is the same capture mat that's in the Banjo Pan, but these little pockets are hard to get. They get full of air bubbles. So I'm gonna like wet it down, make sure all those air bubbles are out of there before I put any material on it. I think the idea is you just shake it and all that gold gets to the bottom of the pan. And once it's in those little riffles, it doesn't leave the bottom of the pan. And then all the material just comes out the side. The waves even help it work. Give it a little shake like that and I see more blonde sand come up, which means more heavy sand pushed it out and up. And there we go. So let's see if I got it to work. So we'll just transfer everything to a flat bottom pan and see what we got. Cleans off pretty easy. There's not too much material in there at all. And Jason's prototype caught some nice pieces too. And I'm sure there's more in the black sand. I just do quick peeks. So every pan seems to catch gold, but every pan is very different. So each pan is a learning curve, but I think the best pan is the one you're most familiar with, the one you like using the best. But this is a pretty cool design. Well, I've been out here panning with different panning methods, doing the Batea pan, regular pan, and the Banjo pan. And my ADD kind of likes that. I like to change the scenery. With the Batea pan, I've been getting it down to about a fist-size pile there. And after that, it's kind of really hard to get it to move out of the pan. It's just so dense and heavy. So I've been getting it to here, and then I've been dumping it into my Classifides bucket. That being the case, I have a lot of black sand Classifides here. Looking at Jason's cleanup, like he reduced it to just a little bit in the bottom of a bucket. I got probably 20 pounds or so in there, but at least I know it's full of gold. So we're gonna take this home and I'm gonna run that through my cleanup sluice and we'll see the pile of gold. But of course I had to stop by the camp for a little fun and games before I went home. So we're back at headquarters and we got a lot of concentrates. Way too many concentrates. But at least it's full of gold. Now to help process all that, I got my river sluice set up with the low V mat. I need something a little bit bigger to process this much material. So I got my smooth water head up here and I can't for the life of me figure out where I put my bilge pump battery. But I can be innovative too. So the only other battery I had was my truck battery. So I got it hooked up to my truck battery right like there. Down to my speed controller and my pump, no problem.
If the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
Get all those air bubbles out, add a little jet dry, and we'll start scooping dirt. And the first scoop, and I already see gold. Oh, I can't wait. All right, so that's all of it. Oh man, there's a lot of gold in that box. Cut of water comes down here, and then there's just this string of gold you can see right there. That's just like a natural stream. You gotta find those little strings of gold. Tell you what, I can't stand up straight because of all the stress I put on it while panning. That Batea pan did a number on my back. Now this gold is exceptionally difficult to separate from the black sand, so I'm sure I missed quite a few pieces. Oh my gosh. My back really is shot. But I want to see how many pieces we missed, so I'm going to run it all again and see if we can collect any more. And there's a few pieces on that second run that I missed. And a few scattered ones down the mat. Hope my truck still starts. So I've reduced that massive amounts of concentrates into just this little bit. But this is still a little bit more than I'd like to pan. So I set up my cleanup sluice and I'll just run that through quick to reduce it further. All right, now it's reduced into a very manageable amount to pan. So I'll just pan that back and we'll see the gold. And there's my cleanup. My goodness, what a good day. This beach gold is so fine and so bright. It really has a unique color. We'll see if there's enough to weigh. I know this will be enough to weigh. .061. I think that's a record. I need to start writing them down. So at today's prices, that's $6.52 worth of gold. Well worth the trip. Maybe not monetarily, but in terms of experience, you can't replace it. Thanks to Jason for putting together the event and to all the people that I got to meet. Super fun. Don't forget to check out the website if you're interested in merch. And thank you guys for watching. Come on back for the next one. Bye-bye.